same one. It's actually working.
Okay. It is working?
Yeah.
Oh, you put a battery in it, did you?
No. It's all connected, but he just said...
You did put a battery in it?
He didn't.
There's your battery.
It's been in it working.
Okay. Is this the one I give you or different?
Yes.
It is working. It is working.
But he said about the headphones, I'm sure you have to set up the headphones. You might be connected. You have to send you two users.
No, I did it with the wet. Anyway, as long as it's working, we'll go with it. Sorry about this, Tom.
That's fine.
You're talking to Logan.
That's great. That's a great photo.
So, you're a patron of the arts, Tom. How did that come about?
I always had an interest in the arts. I had an interest in, and that's been my thing since I was a very young, probably 16-year-old. When I came to Dublin, my mother said, "Right, there's plenty of things to do. Go to the libraries, get the books, read. Doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to have money," because I didn't have money, and there was no pot of gold at home. For instance, I would have went to the National Gallery, the Hugh Lane Gallery as it was called then in Parnell Square, and the Hendricks Gallery. So it was all an interest to me. It was something I liked. It was something I suppose, go back to me my mother. She would have encouraged me to do.
So you're from Cavan?
Cavan, yeah.
Okay, so you're from rural Cavan, is it?
Rural, very rural, heart of the bog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money?
None. Not a lot. It would be an overstatement. No money. There was no money whatsoever.
Okay, so how did you get into the pub trade then?
A friend of my father's would have went to another friend of his, and his son was working here, and he got me a job in a pub. That was the old network, the way people got jobs in those days. They talk about a load of cabin people working in the bars was because one begot another and another begot another, and they all knew somebody working in a pub, and they ended up being barmen, and some of them with a bit of luck ended up being publicans.
Then you don't drink yourself?
I did, but I don't drink anymore now. I did drink. I was drinking myself, didn't agree. I had a short but spectacular drinking career, and that was the end of that.
So what would you attribute the success of this particular bar?
Continuity, I suppose, and care for the customer. They're all very key things. Continuity, care for the customer, interest in the customer. Then as time went on, you promoted. A lot of things came along. We had, as I pointed out, that when we came here, McDade's pub in Harry Street closed, and Paddy O'Brien, who worked there, came here, and he had a substantial following of people out of the literary and artistic world. They came over here, and they felt at home with Paddy, and by extension I got friendly with them, and I enjoyed them, and I enjoyed what they'd done, and it was complimentary to my way of thinking. I liked those people for their creativity. I think that's part of it, that's only a small part of it. Like people like a bar, and continuity here is that a bar, and a lot of times was the ordinary person's club, or by extension their sitting room. Like to come into a bar, they felt at home in it. In actual fact, there's quite a few people come in here. A lot of people come in here who wouldn't. It's their club, They sit down. They even have their regular seats. Like they wait around till the seat there becomes vacant, or the seat there becomes vacant, or it's that type of thing,
So it's a regular clientele?
Oh, very, yeah. It's a local in the centre of Dublin. That'd be my say.
So tell us about this piece of memory.
This is probably one piece of memorabilia from a man whom I respected and would still respect in his death. In death, I'd respect him as Des McNamara. He was one of the creators of the original Bohemian set around Grafton Street, promoter of the literary people. He was a sculptor, friend of Brendan Behan's, friend of John Ryan, a friend of everybody's that was around, J.P. Dunleavy, all those type of people. And he gave me this, to blind me, a small shrine to the memory of Gaynor Christ. Christ of the Ginger Man. So it was inscribed to Grogans by Des McNamara, to be minded in perpetuity. It's only a very small thing, but it's a very important thing as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
The black insect on the roof in the black room.
Yeah, that's a pterodactyl. There was a guy who was exhibited an odd piece here. Paddy Hassett, he was a Clare, he was from Clare, and he was working for a number of years in Louvain, and he brought that back and he put it up there, and there it remains. I became attached to it. I think it's interesting. It's rough and it's sophisticated at the same time. It's a strange thing to say, but it is, you know. But that's only a small part of the art here, you know. There's so many different things I'm very proud of in this place.
Would you call this pub the bar of saints and scholars?
Definitely not saints, maybe scholars. Everyone here is a scholar.
So you're not keen on saints?
No, I don't like saints at all. Saints are too hard to live with. You wouldn't live with a saint.
Ted McAnulty, who's from your county in Cavan.
Yeah, Ted McNulty.
He wrote a poem, and Grogans is in the poem, isn't it?
That's right, Ted McNulty. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Ted was a man that came in here quite a bit. He lived up on Stephen's Green. Incidentally, Ted McNulty his family came from right beside me in the country. And he's buried in the same graveyard as my family are buried in. If they call that anything. We're burying together, as the fella said. Huh?
I know you don't have music in the bar.
No, well, I wouldn't pick a tune to remind me of working in the bar, funny enough. I don't think I would, no.
What's your favourite music?
I like, say for instance, he mentioned the Dubliners. I would have liked them, and I would have liked the Chieftains and those type of that thing, and I'd also like the classics, quite a few of them as well. It's easy listening, nice to listen to.
Give us one.
Dvorak I would like.
Who?
Dvorak.
Dvorak?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you say this bar is recession proof?
God, I wouldn't like to go that far.
Do you like people, Tom?
Yeah. Wouldn't be here if I didn't. I'd have run away. I'd run away when I was 17 or 18 if I didn't like them.
The cellar walk.
That's something you start off at. And when I started, you done plenty of work in the cellar. You had to do loads of work in the cellar. It was what you done. When I started to work in this business, you bottled your own Guinness. You bottled your own ale, as it was called then. Everything was bottled. You bottled your own whiskey and your port. Everything was like that. There was a lot of work. Most of the work was in the cellar. You know, when I started to work at this, because it had to be produced. You got it in the barrel and you bottled it. You know, and there was a lot of bottled stout sold at the time, and a lot of bottled beer. And then along came bottled beer. Whiskey was bottled, came in barrels. All those days are finished now.
And those kegs will be pretty heavy to carry.
Kegs are heavy and awkward to carry, but I suppose we don't carry them as much as we used to either. We roll them or we have barrows to wheel them, you know. So.
If you were not in the pub trade, what do you think you'd be?
Sure, I suppose I never got there wasn't enough money in my family to indulge the thoughts of what I'd like to do. Ideally, I'd like to probably like the literary artistic world anyway, and maybe I was drawn towards it anyway. I probably would have liked to have done something in that field, you know.
And could you tell us about your favourite works at the moment that are hanging here?
Paint, art.
Yeah, the favourite ones that are actually hanging at the moment.
Well, that guy there is my favourite artist, Brian McMahon. He was the man who introduced art into this pub. He came in here one day and said, "Would you, do you know what? That's a great wall there. I'd love you to hang some pictures of them. I'd love to put a few pictures up on the wall." And I said, "What's stopping you?" And that's how we came about. And he had a one-person show. And that is a picture that was in the first one-person show here 23 years ago. He came back here recently for just to show his work. And then from that, Brian and he came along and said, "Why not hang a Christmas show of a selection of artists?" And that's how we came to have a selection of artists.
How long ago was that?
That's about 23 years ago.
So art has been here for 23 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what, we decided to do it, give people a forum for their work. They were customers of ours, and give them a forum for their work. We don't take any commission. It's a matter of finding a space on the wall for you. When you find a space on the wall, we hope you sell. It gives me great pleasure to see somebody sell a piece of work, because you can see the pleasure in an artist when he manages to sell a piece. It's amazing. He or she, they look, you know, it's.
You'd probably sell more here than an art gallery.
Sometimes you would. Yeah, you would. Like, unfortunately, as you mentioned earlier, the Celtic Tiger has slowed that down a bit as well. You know, there's not that much surplus money, you know, but still we're selling. You have a nice piece, you'll sell it. Like people don't put, I don't encourage them to put too much on it, because we don't take anything off them, as I pointed out earlier, and let art for the people affordable, you know.
And it changes every 6 months, isn't it?
6 to 12 months. It's usually 12 months, Christmas to Christmas. But like, I had a rule of thumb that nearly most pieces will sell within the 12 months. Everything. There's a buyer for every piece of art here. Everyone has a different. If you stopped a group of people in here and brought them around, maybe 10 people, you'll find that very few of them would point to the one piece, you know, what they like, you know. So for that reason, I reckon that you'll sell eventually. Somebody comes in and says, what does he want, or she, what does he want for that piece, she want for that piece, and they say, all right, I'll buy it, you know. That's the kind of way it is.
What do you do with the ones that don't sell?
Go back to them.
And if they don't come back for the picture?
We accumulate them. There's a load of them upstairs that will be collected someday, we hope. At a particular time, do you see them?
Oh yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
They're all the names that
Of people that the artist would have known drank here at the particular time, you know. Cat and lamb.
these guys up here on the middle there.
You see Billy Delaney here, he's looking in the window. He's
This is fantastic. And this fella here, this is the fella with the green cap on him.
Joey Magic. He does. He's a bit of a child. He's a child entertainer. You know, the kind of a child party entertainer, balloon man. You know.
All right. Okay.
Off the record, his sister was a friend of mine, and she used to call him. She said to me, "Did you see him lately? Foolish face," she used to call him. I thought it was very funny. He was he was a clown.
And these guys here at the bottom?
Now that's Charlie Brady. Charlie was a well-known artist, quite
Yeah.
well-known American artist. Dave O'Hara, poet. Bridget McLaughlin, a journalist with the independent newspapers. Willie Turner, we called him Rembrandt because he was always selling prints. So I christened him Rembrandt. That's a guy called Tom O'Connor, worked in the museum. That's the artist herself there. Catherine Lamb, and she put the thing down her face. Pat Lyon is dead. That's myself. I'm in a bad spot, and that was Catherine Lamb's boyfriend at the particular time.
How long has it been there?
That's there about 18 years. And the other is there about 16 down the bottom one.
And you were saying most of the people are dead.
Dead, 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 window, dead.
That's unbelievable.
Telling you,
How many of them are alive? Would that be easier to point out?
find out there's 1, 2, and myself at the moment, 3, 4, 5, and 8 alive, 8 living out of that. 8. And there's about, there's many dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 dead. There's a majority of them are dead. And the other is the Night People. Think of Juna Barnes. She wrote a book called The Night People. Night People are the
Well, you've talked about the night people. I
I
think.
will. Night people are the people whose day only started at night. Paddy, he's a ceramic artist, Paddy Maloney, ceramic. Michael Doohan, Stevie Winder, Paddy Finnegan, Paddy O'Neill, Kevin Liddy, movie maker as well. Peter Kelly, who walked behind the bar, the fellow with the feather duster in Fulham. Michael Doohan, sculptor. Donald behind the bar. He also, Paddy Barrett. Paddy Kennedy behind the bar, my partner. Rachel Balla.
Oh, ja, han Bjørn.
Michael Hartnett. That was, what's his name? He was lived up the road here. He's
Looks a bit like Ian Paisley.
absolutely got accused of that often. John Morgan, a retired army colonel. That's Kelly again, the bookie here. That's one of the Kennys. There, Dana Winder, Johnny Byrne, Amby Collins, John Flood, Grim man, I don't know who he is, Eamon O'Doherty, Corbin Walker, sculptor. Peter Kelly again, Paddy Kennedy, Dana Winder, that's a fellow we call Barabbas, Michael McDonough. Another one of Paddy Maloney. He had a good head. He got a couple of coverages in it. He had a good head for sculptor.
Okay, that's fine.
So.
No, it's true.
Everyone I like art, and I collect art myself, and my collection of art will be a very mixed bag. You know, there's certain things hit you and you say, I like that for something, you know.